But how do you measure that? Right? How do you measure that, Sam? So here's something to keep in mind, guys. And this is a little bit more of a sensitive topic. Remember that this is a legal contract, right? So you kind of want to measure your words. Because anything you write in here is an obligation on your part, right? So don't misunderstand me. You still want to go in there. You still want to do a good job. You still want to deliver the best you can for your client. But be careful. You don't want to overstate things. You don't want to leave things open-ended. You don't want to leave things subject to qualitative evaluation. Right? That's how problems begin. Like legal problems, I mean. Leo's asking, where's the payment agreement? Wow, Leo wants to get paid right away. Jeez. Let's pump the brakes there, Leo. Pump the brakes. Leo wants money right off the bat. Pump the brakes. We're still looking at the description. Right? We're just looking at the description right now, guys. We're going to go section by section. We'll get to the money, Leo. Apparently, Leo wants to get paid right now. Jeez. Guys, don't borrow money from Leo. He's going to want it right back. Jeez. Leo says, lol, give me money. Obviously. Wow. All right. But, keep that in mind, guys, right? Especially, I say that because, you guys are making comments on the description and we're about to go into the client responsibility. So keep that in mind, right? Like, it's a contract. So be careful about what you put in there, especially when it comes to, us, the consultants' obligations, right? Again, you don't misunderstand me. We're going to go in there. We're going to do a good job. And we're gonna get Leo some money because apparently that's what Leo cares about. But just don't leave things open-ended. Don't leave things for interpretation. All right. All right. Let's talk about the client responsibilities. This is going to differ depending on situations. But the number one thing you want to emphasize in the client responsibilities is their participation. You have to make sure that you build in their participation, their feedback, their involvement in helping you by saying, yes, that algorithm works well. No, it didn't. Those results are great. Those results are not so great. So on and so forth. That's what I'm mostly looking for when it comes to client responsibility. The second thing I'm looking for is hardware, right? In most situations, you're not the one providing the hardware. They're the ones providing the hardware. So you want to make sure that not only are they giving you appropriate hardware, but they're also giving you the hardware resources. Because they're not going to give you like admin access on one of their servers, right? You're probably going to have to rely on another person, somebody in the IT department to help you with those types of things, right? So those are the two things that I'm mostly looking for in client responsibilities. Again, that's going to differ based on the engagement and the client and so on and so forth. But that's what I'm aiming for when I'm looking at the client responsibilities. I also like that ChatGPT wrote about the data provision. That's super important, right? If the client is not involved in helping you get data, all of a sudden you got a month-long delay in your timeline, and now Leo doesn't get his money. Leo has to wait a month for his money, right? And apparently none of us want that, right? Who knows? Leo might go postal on us, right? If he has to wait for his money, right? So that's super important. So that's what I'm looking for here, okay? So data provision, supply all necessary historical real-time data, relevant estimate activities. And then I want to put a timeline on it, right? This is to completed and provided within first project. So I want to make sure I put a timeline on access personnel, facilitate meetings with key stakeholders and team members for requirements gathering and feedback. Okay. And then here, this is to include member of the staff providing structure support, timely feedback, provide primaries and approvals each project milestone. That's good, but sometimes you need faster feedback than that, right? So feedback is also to be provided within 72 hours of algorithm results provided by the consultant to client. Right, because this talks about giving feedback, but only at milestone meetings. But if you're in the middle of developing an algorithm, you're going to need it faster than that. So 72 hours gives them 3 days to get back to give you some feedback. So that, I think that's also super important to include. Infrastructure support is availability of for algorithm integration and deployment. Okay, that's a reasonable statement. But I want to make sure I have access quickly, right? So same thing I included here, right? I want to have access within the first 2 weeks. We probably won't need it within the first 2 weeks, but again, don't leave things open-ended. Put a timeline on things. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the client responsibilities phase.